Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Workers and Resources. We are looking at the farm area today, but that's not the main focus. The main focus today is going to be fixing a whole bunch of little tiny problems that are potentially big issues in the future. And so I wanted to briefly go over, I'll probably pause it here just because I don't want the time to go on. There's some of these problems that are time sensitive. But I wanted to briefly go over some of the things that I am looking to do in the farm area for expandability, and I want to walk you through it. The first thing is the road cargo station is done. This is great because we now have another point in which these trucks can unload. So some of the smaller stations, this one here, this one down here that's done now, this one over here that's got trucks that are out doing things. Eventually, we're going to have this station over here done, and this station actually just finished. So we're going to want to go ahead and get some vehicles for this too. Let's go ahead and grab some covered hulls and just buy as many as we can right there. We're going to want to give this thing some tasks, and I think you are probably going to go ahead and handle these fields here, these fields here. Let's have you maybe handle, yeah, these ones that are closest to you as well. You could do these ones too. And then your final destination will end up being, I think, this, because you have a lot of vehicles. So, and you're coming from this direction. So I think this one's probably an okay unloading point for you. But a lot of these places are going to end up in doing this, okay, and bringing resources here. We also have the gas station, which is just now built. So I hooked it up to this distribution office so we can get some fuel in there, help the trucks out. And we're going to disconnect, we actually already did, disconnect this from the distribution office so that the trucks will continue to refuel here, but the fuel will go to zero so that when I demolish this, it will not cause me any issues as far as hazardous waste and stuff. We do have the electrical line ran to this, so that means we can provide power to the gas station without this turbine. So I'm going to demolish the turbine as well. We'll get the construction crews out to, or rather the demolition crews out to take care of that. Okay, so for the time being, that's what we've got going on. You can see this is a clear problem, and it needs to be fixed. It definitely needs to be fixed. Why don't we tell this office for the time being? I think I will switch it eventually, but for the time being, I am going to tell this office, if you do get crops, bring them over here. All right, unload them right here at this road cargo station. That is going to be better for us all. There you go. And hopefully they'll start spreading out. And of course, as I've selected their routes here, they are still already pre-programmed, right? Every one of these vehicles has a designated route that they have already pre-selected when they leave the office. So they're not going to refresh themselves on where they go until after they get back to their office or until they get a new route, basically. Okay. That's out of the way. We'll check back in on that later because there's a lot of things left to do. And you can see actually all these covered hulls over here need another spot to go to. I'm going to actually spread these guys out and have you... Here's what I'm going to do with you. We're going to say that you go... Where's Big Field 3? This one. I think we could probably get rid of that one. And we'll have both on this one just to help spread it out a little bit more. All right. Let's head over here. There's another problem. Now, most of our focus today is going to be on fixing this, okay? Got a lot of problems here. I started constructing this and I backed out, but I think I'm actually going to go ahead forward with it after all. I wasn't sure, but I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do it after all. So let me just real quick go in and redo the plans. I wasn't sure what I wanted. I feel like I was putting the transfer station in and I wasn't going to have any scalability because of that. I really wanted the trains to be able to access this. I want trains to be able to take this stuff. And I'm not entirely sure if there's any way I can make this work, but I would love the ability to get the transfer station to not just be attached to here, but also be attached to something else we're going to be using and implementing today. So I'm looking for that. Thank you, JMC, for the idea. I'll put I just wanted to give credit where it's due. I will be trying it out later, but I think this road is in the way, I think is what the problem is. Get this road out of the way. What I think I'd rather do here, if possible, is we're going to take the transfer station and may have to rework the spacing on this a little bit, but I would love for this transfer station to go in right about like that. Yeah, like that. The one where you went the other direction. So right... pull it back just a little bit more. Gosh, it's just a I think it's just to the point where I probably won't be able to do this, but I really want it. Right about there, hopefully. And then I'm going to take you out of here. Put you there instead. Ah, just too long. All right, we'll touch base on this in a second because there's another problem I want to look at. This tank. This tank doesn't have a lot of fuel in it anymore. And that's because I had an oversight. Or rather, I didn't have oversight, and I oversaw something, all right? There's something I didn't see. All right, so as you know, we are selling fuel at the border, and it is pulling fuel out of this tank. Now, the logic behind the setup was that the fuel goes into this tank, and then it will go this way until this is full, and then fuel will start to accumulate here. That's exactly what happens. It goes through the tank, and when this is full, it starts to build up in here. We also have it being pumped into this tank, which is another overflow tank, pumps it through or goes through the pump, and then pops it into here. So when this fills up, both of these equally start to fill up. That's a good thing. That's what we want to see. But there's a problem. When this train is at this station and it is waiting till loaded, it is pulling as much fuel from this tank as it can to fill itself up. And if we don't have the labor, which we're running a little low on labor here, I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to look at that. We have tons of oil, so it's not an oil issue. With the reduced labor, what happens is the new fuel that this produces ends up going directly to the train while it's sitting there, and it doesn't actually make it here. And so this is left to its own left on its own, and of course the trucks are going to drain it. So what we need to do is a little bit of a different thing here. Instead of using a tank as a through, we're going to use a pump to prioritize flow. That's going to be much better. I just oversight, never mind, you got it. Okay, so anyway, here's how we have to do this. First thing I want to do is prevent that train from taking any more fuel. So we're going to basically demolish that. Okay? Next, what we need to do is create a solution that allows me to put a pump here, and this is going to be in the way. However, that's my only flow out of fuel at the moment to this tank. So I don't want to demolish this, but instead I need to bypass this by making an underground pipe that's going to go over like this and connect here. And then that needs to be a high priority construction for, I don't know, any office that'll listen. Okay, there we go. And then the demolition offices should auto search this. We should see them ping here, but I'll just go ahead and get Charlobinsk and maybe one of the Cernakova ones to come over here and help out with that. Okay, that's going to prevent this train getting any more fuel. So it's just sitting here now. Now, I did redo the signals. So real quick, I want to undo what I did on this signal. Create that a mixed again. And we should now see that train able to leave in the proper direction. So I'm going to tell you to go to the border. You're going to take your 250-ish thousand rubles worth of fuel with you. So that's going to give us some money. And once this is done, we should now see fuel accumulate here, right? And this isn't being drawn from anywhere. So the fuel will just flow into here, which is great. Track builders, isn't it? It's always track builders. There is never a time where this backup is not track builders. Right there. Yep. We're trying to build the track out to this. It's going to take a while. But we're trying to get there. And it's just going to cause us to have basically no labor over here, which is a bit of a problem. I do want to start getting these two things built again. And in fact, I'm going to just go in and select start batch construction. I'm going to do like this and like this. Here we go. And also this part here, but not this part. All right. I want to get construction crews back to doing this. And helicopters should come out and help with this again. There we go. Okay. Because making our own coal over here is pretty important, okay? We want to make sure that during the winter, which is coming up, that our trains are not leaving this station to go get coal, as they are now, but then having to go all the way over there and potentially missing... what are you doing? Are you in the... You're barely in there, aren't you? You son of a bee. I think you're barely in the intersection. Hold on. Yup. All right, you stop right there. Everybody else should be able to go now, though. That sucks. All right. Anyways, I think we've solved this problem in the short term. I will want to put a pump here. So as soon as that underground pipe is done, we're we're going to put a pump here. It's going to be above ground, and it will prioritize flow to these 3 tanks to where this one always gets it, and then this one doesn't get it until these 2 are full. So I want both of these full before this one gets it, and then this is the one we're going to export, okay? That's what we're going to work with, if we can. And so really all I have to do is prioritize flow to this one and then here. But it's possible I could also use this the 3rd connection here on this to feed it into this so that I didn't need the connection with the fuel rats to go here. There's really no reason why the fuel rats have to go here. I think I have capacity for more helicopters here too. Any spare helicopters? We don't have any sitting there, which means they're all working on something. Not really, although this is it's a 23-year-old chopper, so it's not that good. I was going to say, this is a decent deal for something with a 4,700 liter bucket. But no. I'm probably going to end up just paying full price for brand new ones, to be honest. Okay, this is what I wanted to focus on today, all right, is this part here. So, what are we going to do in this area to solve the problem? I had many problems with this. I didn't anticipate it being so slow here. So that's the reason why this station was so long, is because it's supposed to connect here to unload. We weren't supposed to have this. The initial design didn't call for this. We had to amend it. We had a connection here, which was going to pull that stuff out and send it to the incinerator. That didn't work out either because it's too slow. And so we really don't need this long a station. We could maybe do the half one where, you know, it's like 2 tracks and then a space and then a 2 track. We could have maybe done that. I still want 4 tracks here, but the station didn't need to be this long. There's a variety of different options we could have done here. I could have done the transfer. All right, so I'm just walking through the different options, and then we're going to tell you which one we've ultimately decided with here. What I could do is this. This is what I was going to do, right? We were going to take a transfer and do this. This would allow the trains to load it, but not much faster than we were already able to. It would allow for much faster loading for trucks, though. The large container mixed waste trucks could load the waste very fast compared to the dump that they had earlier. The problem here, though, is that it's still not fast enough. It's not loading fast enough. I would need a convoy of like 70 garbage trucks to do that, and that's really wasteful. We don't want to do that. So ultimately, this doesn't scale, is my dilemma here, is this doesn't scale. The next option is maybe to use one with a claw, all right? So that's fine. They'll be able to load it. There's higher capacity, but it's the same problem with loading. It's going to be about the same speed to load for all the garbage trucks, but it's about the same speed to load for a train too. That sucks. We don't want that. Now, I do want the option to use a train for this. I mean, not because it feels like this would be a complete waste if I don't. There's going to be other places in the Republic that will be managing their waste, and we will have opportunities to bring it in here eventually, just maybe not from this particular point. But ultimately, this storage has the same problem as the transfer station, where it's good for trucks, kind of, but not good for trains. So the next solution would be to try to get one of these in here. I think you can tell that there's really not a whole lot of room for that to happen. If this wasn't a long station, if this was only half, then I could totally have another bridge cross these tracks and go. But you can't have a bridge cross a station. It doesn't work that way. This is a building. The tracks do not go over top of buildings. Even though it's not that tall, it could totally handle it. I'm sure we could totally have that work. But the game will not allow me to do that over top of this. So no tracks over top of stations. So what's the solution? Well, it's something I never thought of because up until this point, I've never used it for this purpose since waste is a new mechanic. I wasn't aware that these existed. Heavy garbage cars. These are, as you may have guessed, for the cableways. And the cableways, each one of these cars can hold 4.5 tons of mixed waste. That's a lot more than I thought it would be able to do. 4.7 tons of this stuff, though, leads me to believe it's pretty consistent, I suppose, right? If you can do 2.5 tons of this on the flat car, I kind of was looking at this for the thing going, oh, 2.5. But yeah, so in other words, we've got the ability to use the cableways, maybe. Now, there's a couple of problems with this. One, is that this is a really sharp turn. And 2, to get over there, look at all the electrical lines we have to navigate through. And even if we somehow manage to navigate through all the electrical lines, we still have a elevation change here that's pretty steep with these things in the way. And then, you know, then you can get over here. And once you get over here and you unload, okay, well, now you have a lot of power being consumed, because cableways are not cheap on power. As a reference, this one over here is currently using, looks like 0.17 megawatts, okay? So you might think that's not very much, but this one over here is the same thing. It's an engine, right? Using the same thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to add these two values together or not. Maybe I can see that reference here. Yeah, so the max wattage is 220 kilowatts. Right, so each one of these stations is 220 kilowatts. 440 kilowatts is the circuit breaker on this if it's using it at max capacity, all right? So that's 13 megawatt hours per day. That may not seem like a lot, but if you look at the refinery uses 36. All right? So look at that. The refinery at max load will use 36 megawatt hours. All those people, 500 workers, giant factory, converting. It's going to use. Where is it? Right here, right? It uses, the cableways, I mean, a lot of power. It's not cheap. So there's a case to be made that maybe this is a little bit wasteful on the long term, but I've went back and forth with this in my test save, and I gotta tell you, JMC, thanks for the idea, man. This is like the only solution that works. I really wish it wasn't, but it is. If this building was back, and I've redone this in test saves to try to figure out how to configure this to work, this building has to be situated with the center of the building being about here. This needs to be moved over here. All of this stuff starts shifting, and as soon as you shift these things, you have to start shifting these things. And then you have to start shifting these things. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not really an easy thing to move. So whatever solution we can do to allow waste to scale that doesn't involve a lot of building, that's the best course of action. And the cableways are going to be what we do here. This is how, unfortunately, that is the only way to make this happen in the current save the way it is. So we are going to place a transfer. And what I'm hoping to get here, though, is still to have the option to load it on a train if we end up scaling too far. So what I'm hoping that works here is I can get this to kind of be angled in extreme ways, maybe. It angled. And I'm thinking maybe right about here could work. Oops. Hey, autosave right as I click. Really? You suck. Okay. All right, game. Thanks so much, game. I appreciate you. You're special. You're my special game. All right. So we're going to put this in here. Let's try this again. We're going to say right here, and I want you to be connected onto this one. All right. So we're going to try to get it to where it connects to that one, if possible. Right about. Come on. Turn green, damn it. Oh. Come on. Can this work? Tell me you connect there. My special road. Come on, road. Be cooperative here, okay? I'm trying to do something. Too long. You suck. Maybe we can make it work with this. Let's see. All right. So from this point, right, we have to make... Oh, sorry. I'm totally wrong. Whoops. No, we needed to do this. I'm sorry. I'm totally wrong here. Okay. So the issue that I was running into when I was trying to position these buildings is getting road connections in. That was always the issue. But by using the transfer station, because it has 3 connection points, we can do this even easier. My bad. This is totally the wrong way of doing this. What I needed to do something more like this. I believe this is what was working earlier for me. Yeah, like that. Okay. So we get this in there. Now what we have is a situation where the roads are gonna like be passable. We're gonna be able to get the road in here. And so I've already moved. You can see this has been shifted over towards the tracks more. I'm also rebuilding a new one here. And then the 235 that was coming across here has been removed in favor of a switch that will then distribute the power between these two instead. So we're going to be able to put in underground ones, and I'm just going to put you into there, and then you are going to come across like that into there. 2 extra lines, and we'll get power restored to this area a little bit better. Okay, this is starting to fill up, so which is good. I want this full because I want to see what this can do at full capacity. I want to see the state that we're in here. Okay, so the important thing is to get the cableway station built as soon as possible so that we can start bringing the heavy cars in. So we can really only put in the heavy cars. Oh, actually, you know what? I never tried and might be able to pick up the heavy cars with the distribution office so that they get loaded. Although I don't think they have, yeah, they have some flat cars that can do that from before. Yeah. And then we might be able to deliver them to here with the factory connection. That would be interesting. I'm going to see if I can make that happen. Anyway, so cableways. What we want to do here, flip this over, and we want this to be, we actually may not be able to do what I wanted to do here. So I'm going to need you to be a little more favorable for positioning. There's going to be a lot of replacement here. I mean, it's just the way it is. Like, this has to be perfectly positioned or it won't work. All right, guys. I usually, when I try to make something happen and I'm being stubborn, I give myself a timer. I say, you have 20 minutes to solve this. And that's a lot of time. And I've exhausted that twice now. I've spent too much time trying to get this. I am convinced now at this point, there is absolutely no way I'm going to get a transfer station, a cable car, get the connections to go all 3 of these, use all 3 of those connections, and get the cableways out unless I use the small transfer station. If I use this one, I can make it work because it's not as much footprint. I have more flexibility, but I don't have nearly as much buffer, 97 versus 195. I would really like to have an increased buffer here. So I'm going to make the decision here, I think, to position this in such a way that in the event I can look at this system and say, okay, I don't need that much buffer. It just works and it's working at maximum capacity. I can then redo it to where I have the small one, but I want to plan for a more permanent solution here. So to do that, I am going to place this transfer station right here, right down here like this. And then we're going to place the cableways here. I'm giving up. There's just no way I'm going to be able to make that happen. So this needs to get out. And before anyone says, how about going the other way? Tried that too. Tried going this way with it, and then I have to come around, and there's just too much stuff here to position the cableways, allowing me to get them out of this area. I would have to go, I mean, I presume, I didn't try this, but I would have to go like through this area maybe, and then around. It's just not going to happen. It needs to go out this way in order to be viable. So this is the solution. We're going to do this. And if I don't need the buffer later, maybe we can rework it. All right. But it's not that expensive to rework. Most of the cost is going to be associated with all these poles going out, and they're not going to have to move. It's just going to be repositioning this building and this. Right. So if I need to redo this with the small one because I don't need the buffer, then fine. So this is how we're going to play this. The cableway is connected to the transfer station. The transfer station, these all need to be one direction. One direction here, one direction there, okay? We're then going to go with the heavy poles, okay? And the heavy poles are gonna, we don't need to lift up quite so high, but remember, these things can catch fire, okay? And not very common. They can catch fire, and there's no road connection here, so we need basically to rely on helicopters for this entire thing right here. It's just the way it's going to have to be. So we're going to pop this right here. I'm going to go tall to give me the flexibility to switch later and moving this around, okay? Then we can come out this direction. And we don't necessarily need to rely on the helicopters in this part because we do have the ability to get a road into here. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to lift these up as high as they can go. We're going to want to go right about here with it, and we're going to angle it so that I can go that way. So we're going to go about like this. Hope that works with the road connection. Let's maybe pull it back a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to come across like this as far as we can, like so. Over top of the tunnel is fine. We want to angle it about there. And it's important, though, that you see how the road is coming out, right? Well, if the cable's going that direction, you might run into a situation where you can't actually put the road out. So I'm going to put the road out first, make sure that I can actually get it. Then I'm going to have this go... oh, okay. We're going to have it go somewhere. Across here, maybe? Will that work? Okay. There's a lot of electrical here, but I think we can make that happen. It's just about finding the right spot. Right there is fine. I don't care. Just get it in there so we can build it. And then I can delete it later. It's fine. But with the road in, that will give me a better idea as to which one of these cables will actually connect. So... because sometimes you run into an issue with that. So I'm going to actually angle it this way. Yeah, this way. And maybe this way is better. Tell you what, we'll go about here with it. And it does look like that connected. You can tell because you can hear it. It has a different sound. And also, there's only one arrow showing on this. If you place it and both arrows are showing, it means that this cable did not connect. Because you really can't see the cables. If you zoom right in, you can't see those cables. It's just these pylons. It's the only thing you get. Only the poles. So again, we're gonna come over to this side, and I'm gonna try to see if maybe I can get around. I'd like to curve around this if possible. So maybe I can go something like almost. Come on now. Be nice to me. No? Still not the right angle. Right there. Yeah, and then over here like this. And that will work right there. Perfect. And then we're gonna... Now this is the part where it gets a little weird. Because you're gonna go through the electrical lines, and the game technically doesn't care if you do that. But I can also try to go under them. And that would also save me resources too, if I try to go underneath them. So... let's see if we can't go under the electrical lines. Right here, it'll allow me to connect the pole, but not the cable. Pole, but not cable. It's because of the angle, or... it looks like it's because of the angle, not because of... okay, so I can go this way with you then. This is so weird. I don't like it, but it's so weird. All right, so we're going to have here, and then what I got to do is flip this over. We're going to put this on the top of the tunnels, basically. So it comes up about here, and again, you got to have roads connect here. So we have to make sure that all the roads connect so that they can be built. This can go out like that. This can go over and connect there. This one can come around probably that way, I guess. Yeah, we can have it go this way and connect there. Okay, you are going to wrap around as well. Actually, no, just going to go there. No big deal. Okay, so all of them have road connections now. So we're so far so good. So now it gets easier, much easier, in fact, because it's wide open spaces now. So we're just going to lift it up as high as we need to in order to get that change in elevation to be acceptable. And it's going to have to be... oh, it will work to come down here. Okay, good. So we'll go there. Now, at the low elevation, then you really run problems with roads. And so you see that right now, it will not allow me to bring that road out because of the low elevation. So I do have to pull this back. Okay. And we will have to go up a little bit here. We can get away with it if we're curving away from the road. So see how it's kind of coming towards the road over there. If it was curving from this side, then it wouldn't be an issue. But since we're going to have a problem with that, I'm going to lift it up a little bit. There we go. And then we can bring it this way. And if I can curve it from this direction, I can probably dip it lower. About there. Let's double check the road connections, make sure it'll work. There we go. So that's going to go that way for now. And then you are going to wrap around, but we're not going to be able to wrap around. We're going to have to go this way with it. I'm going lower with the cableway. There we go. I'll just do something like that for now. It really doesn't matter if they catch fire. Once they're built, we can eliminate the road connections. We don't even need them anymore. If they catch fire, then we'll just have helicopters do it. But it's important that you save as much money as possible here. So I'm going to put you in like this. I can probably go a little further distance if I make it taller, right? Yeah. I'll go about like that with it. It's fine. And then over here, we need to start angling it a little bit. There we go. And we're going to angle it right into this area here. Yeah, about like that. And we're going to bring it in over here. And then the new cableway station is going to be on this side. And it should give me a factory connection right there with that one. Yep, like that. And that is where the station ends. Okay, so this goes in like that. And then we just need to connect the poles to make that happen. So right here, lift up maybe a little bit. That looks like it'll accept, actually, provided the road works. The road should work. Again, it's only for construction's purpose. Oh, did you? Oh, okay, hang on. Maybe we can make this. No. The road's supposed to go this way. I just didn't see this correctly. So just connect the cables there. And we will go like that. Yep. And then up a little bit and mark. And then down through here. Yep. And then we can actually bring you. Nope, because the cableways are there. Remember, you can't put any roads under these cableways like this too. So it's a tricky thing, these cableways, but I think we can make that work with not looking stupid. There we go. And I think there's one more left right here. This needs to go this direction. Connect with there. And then we can't put a road under here because the cableways are in the way. So that gives us our cableway. It's a complicated thing, but I gotta tell you, I've tried every possible combination of thing that I can think of. And my 1,000 hours plus in this game, I've tried everything I can think of to allow me to move waste out of here faster. And this is the only solution that I think actually can keep up. So we're going to go with it. We're going to spend an enormous amount of resources. Not that much. But we're going to spend a bunch of resources to make this happen. Right here. So used to my test save where I can like hit these buttons. If you see me like gravitate towards those buttons, it's like my test save where I dink around and make sure things will work, like I was saying earlier. It's a habit. You can spend like 2 hours trying to plan things out, and then yeah. Anyway, over here, hit this button. I had to make all these high priorities so that they'll do them all right now, because I want to see this waste system working. We are running out of time to make this happen because steel in that area over there is going to fill up with garbage, and there's not a lot I can do about it. So I'm going to make sure that they are building all of these things. Helicopters, you're going to help with this, and then you're going to start helping with some of these other ones, specifically this one. Oh, that's a problem. If I can't get a helicopter in there either, then I can't build it. Should be able to get in there. That doesn't make any sense. Hang on. You can build this. You can build this. I know you can't build this, but the helicopters can't either. That's an issue. We're gonna have to see about maybe repositioning that so that helicopters can get there, if possible. Oh dear. There's not a whole lot of repositioning possible with this. We'll go just a little bit more this way. Just a tad bit more. That's going to stop me, man. All right, well, here's what we're going to have to do then. We're going to have to take this factory connection away. I'm going to have that be a high priority too for all of the demolition offices. And we're going to have to make a road that comes in here and hooks up to this so that I can build that. And of course, this is going to block me from making a road there, isn't it? Some other infrastructure is in the way. My ass. It is not. All right, tell you what, maybe we can try this. We can say we can break the cable right there, and then that will allow me to go through here. Yep. Okay. So that's how we're going to do this. We're going to get this here. We're going to build it. And then we're going to hook up the cable, but we need to do it after it's all built. So we won't have it right away. That sucks, but it is what it is. So, yeah. I'll have to wait for that to happen. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, they are nearly done with the cableway station. There it goes. And they've almost got the transfer done too. And while they've been doing this, they have been dealing with the poles and stuff for the cableway. They've got most of them done. These are done all the way up this way. We showed you that in the time lapse, all the way over to here. We still have a few poles over here to do, and then the end station. However, because this side is done, we can now have vehicles delivered here. And that's what I want to do next. So we're going to take one of our open hull trucks, which we've got to have at least one of them sitting around here somewhere. You there with the prefab panels. Yeah, you're going to unload them. Nope, you're not going to do this one. You're just going to unload. Wherever you can unload them, that's where you're going to do it. All right. We should have some capacity here. We don't keep it completely full, so hopefully you can unload them all. There we go. Everything's good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to give up this route that you're doing. You're going to come over the border. You're going to grab the vehicles. We're going to say new vehicles. That's fine. And you're going to come over and deliver them to right here. Okay? New route for you. Very interesting times for you. Yes. Unload your vehicles here. Okay, that's it. So now you can go off and do this, hopefully. All right, now with that, we're going to buy the maximum amount of these cars that we can. We're going to go over to the cargo cars area. Actually, first, we're going to make sure that there's nothing else in here. So we have tower cranes. There's an extra ambulance in here. There's a tower crane sitting here that was really damaged. I bought a while ago. I don't know. There's that extra train that I bought a while ago. I don't even remember if I showed that. I've cut so much out of these videos right now, just for like the time that's passed and everything, that sometimes I forget what I've even shown you guys. And I don't like that, but I don't know how else to do it. There's just so much to do. I want to actually make progress per video, you know? So cargo cars, we're going to do the heavy garbage cars. And we are going to buy a whole bunch of them. How many are we going to buy? I don't know yet. There's 42 in here, minus 3, so we have 39. Let's go with 40 for now, and then we'll have to see what the capacity is on this when it's done. We'll be able to see the capacity on the line, hopefully, except the cableway is not connected, so we can't see that yet, but we can start delivering them there, and that's what we want to do. So I would think it's at least 40 through this. If we take a look at it's all about the length, right, is what really is what it's about. This one here can have up to 70, and it's that long, so I would say that this is definitely more than 40. I don't want to over purchase, so, but I gotta believe we can go even more than that. I'm gonna say we go to 50 of the heavy garbage cars. Okay, and then the truck will just pick them up and take them over there, probably 2 at a time, so it's gonna take a long time, but when it's all said and done, well, yeah, it'll be done. I got nothing else left to say. There's only one more to build here, and that's this dude. right here, and it's only 41 work days. All the resources already delivered there, so we just need to see worker buses get in here and do that. And once that's done, my cableway to trash should be mostly completed. Obviously, they have to do these things left too. We'll probably get a road. Of course not, because the cableway is there. Can't get a road over there either. How about a road on underneath this? Will you let me do it? Yeah, well, until you start being underneath the cableway, then yeah. So, never mind. No, we're just going to need our crews to come out here and do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to make sure that the helicopters maybe can... No path. That's the problem with these things, you know? I'm actually thinking, why don't we demolish you? You know, I need to get a road in here to do these. Because this isn't connected to any streets. No wonder they can't do these. I got to get it in here. Okay, tell you what. We'll do it on this side. Bring this road over. And then cross it here. It's a long path. But it gets them in here. And then now we can connect to all of these to build them as well. Pretty good. And then helicopters could already get to those two. They can't get to these. There's just no suitable landing space there, basically. But we can, of course, use our own local labor for these as well. All right. So that should be done. This side here is getting completed. Will be very nice to see this. And then the factory connection needs to be one way that way. Okay. So now that we have vehicles being dropped in here, as soon as this is... you have to have the entire cableway done in order for this to calculate how many vehicles you are actually allowed to have. But... related vehicles. Are there vehicles in here, or... It doesn't say there are any cabins in the station. Did you not pick anything up? You should have. I might just be... I may just not be able to see them until it's built. It could be that. We are getting mixed waste popped in here. So this system is running at full now. So let's go ahead and allow 50 workers to be in here. We also have extra buses. So I've bought extra buses because we have so many workers over here on the train platform. What I was hoping to do is to kind of borrow one of these routes. Bus stop to refinery. I like this. We're going to take this route, copy it to this bus, but then we're going to alter the route. We're going to alter the rules a little bit. Instead of you going to the Cernakova bus platform here, you're going to go to the train station instead, because you can pick up passengers from the train station too. All right, so we're going to get workers there. And then we're going to copy this new route to, I think, 2 more buses, just to make sure we really get it going. Now, the first stop is unreachable, and that is because there's no actual road here yet. We're going to change that by going like that. And now the buses should be able to get to the train platform, and then they will also hopefully go back to the end station. Yes, okay. So we will have, let's put 2 of them on there for now. And now we have all these like hundreds of people who are waiting for the train. They're going to get picked up and being brought in here. And then we have extra labor into the refinery so that we can hopefully catch up on fuel. Because remember, that is a problem we are trying to catch up on. Now that this is completed, this under part here is completed, I can delete this above ground pipe as well. So we're just going to go in here and we're going to say that I want to delete this pipe from here all the way over. Just delete the whole thing, please. Yeah, the whole thing. I need to look underground, make sure I'm not deleting this. Okay, it looks good. Yep. This whole thing right here. Let's make that the next thing that you're tearing down. All right. Now that this is built, we don't have the cable connected, remember? So we have to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to have to take and cancel this road. Okay, all the way out. Bring that road all the way back. We're going to need to re-hook up the factory connection first so that it allows me to do it. And it'd be kind of cool if I could do that, because it just gives me that little extra space. But I don't know if it'll allow it. I'm going to try it. And then the cableway is going to need to re-hook up the lay cable from here to here. Perfect. That's what we need. And the cable is instantaneous. It's just done. We don't have to do anything else. Okay, so while I've been messing with this, though, these trashes are all building up. And I'm noticing also that this station doesn't have any power. which shouldn't be the case because this building generates power when it's burning things. And so this should always have power as long as there's something to burn. And as it's running, there will always be something in this. Therefore, there will always be something to burn. So it should always have power, but it should also be getting the power sent to it from this side. And there's redundancy in this system because this is receiving power from other sources that is not this. So essentially, this ending station needs this to be running in order to have power. I don't particularly like that reality, but we should at least start it, be able to do it while it's here. But we're going to add another one of these substations in this area, probably nested in here. It'd probably be better. We're going to add another one of these substations, and we're going to go ahead and have just a fairly cheap line running out from this side. Looks like it should be okay from this side, and we're going to run it all the way across like this. Just kind of follow along this general area like we already are, and then we'll bring it over like that and stick it in there. Okay, so we'll hook up power so that this has some other power source that isn't this, but as soon as this starts to run, it'll be fine. The reason why it's not running is not because of labor, it's because of metal scrap. We actually don't have anywhere to put it. Since there's nowhere to put it, it doesn't run. So I need to have one of these garbage trucks that are sitting here doing nothing. Why are they doing nothing? Well, because I removed the other part of their route, which I can now replace by putting this as the loading point for them. So now we have a loading point for you here. Now, I don't believe you're going to need it, but we're going to try it out. All right. So with this guy leaving, that should replace you. And we need your route to also carry over to this guy so that he does the same thing. And then I have you unloading, and then you are going to go to the next place. You're part of a technical office. That's good. Technical office and technical office. Excellent. And then you are the same thing. So you 3 trucks. I don't know if I need 3 trucks doing this. I'm going to maybe put you over here instead, actually, because the cableway should be replacing the trucks pretty well. There's Winter. Been waiting for you, Winter. So good to see you. All right. This is completely full now. So we can now see, because this is completely full and we have max workers dedicated here, we should now be able to see whether or not this can handle, you know, the full blunt of everything that we want to throw at it, right? Can it handle maximum load? So 15 workers in here. We're going to put 20 workers in here. We're going to let these buildings work at maximum capacity so that we can have everything go round and around, okay? So as the bus pulls in with a lot of workers, they should be coming on into here, into the general separator. We should be able to see that. Now we're missing fuel in the tank. Yep, was waiting for that to be a problem. But it's going to get worked out. Trust me, it'll happen. As soon as we get the pump in here, this 282 tons is going to just get thrown into this tank, which would be great. In the meantime, though, I am going to tell one of my fuel rats to, instead of getting it from down here, I'm going to have you get it directly from this. That way, we at least have some way of getting fuel. In fact, I may do this with both of you, just so that you're equal and you can all have the fuel that this thing has already got inside it. All right. Now you can go and load directly from here. It's a little bit further of a trip to get over there, but you can get there. Okay. With this thing being nearly full and this thing being full, we are ready proper to test the cableways. It is all about getting the final poles built now. We are ready to properly test this, and workers is all that's left here to properly do that, aside from the power, which, again, as soon as I get the metal working, we should be good here. In fact, the metal, why don't we have you, this extra garbage truck that I was just using, why don't we have you instead go grab that metal scrap out of here? I'll just tell you to grab metal scrap. That's fine. And you can bring it over where it belongs, which is over here. All right. And then that will turn on the incinerator. By turning on the incinerator, we will turn on the cableway station, and we should have power to that by the time these 2 buildings are done. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. That's a pretty long drive to get over there, and I really do wish I had another way over there, but I just don't. I have the vans are gonna have to, the buses are just gonna have to bring them over there. The longest possible trip to get over to that side. I don't even know if they can. Yeah, they're gonna have to come through here on a dirt road in the winter. That's gross. I really don't understand why the helicopters can't reach this. It seems like there's more than enough room. But what I suspect it is because the cableways are here, the helicopters can't get close enough because there's cableways on this side and this side. And obviously the dumps are here too. I lost the word. There it is. But as soon as we unload that, we should now have working. Yep, this incinerator is running, which means you have power now. Very good. Okay. While we're waiting for the cableways to finish up here, you can see that this gas station is now empty. So we're going to go ahead and remove it. We're also going to tell deconstruction office to take away that road, and this road is already done too. And so now it's just a matter of getting out here to clear this, and then I can put in another one of these. Now, I suspect that this is actually not going to work. You can unload without power, right? Yeah. It doesn't have a power supply, which is a little bit weird. Well, I guess that was the wind turbine was the only power source you had. A little sus. But all right, I'm going to put you... maybe put you, like... Where's my power? It's over on that side. So maybe we go on this side with you. This is fine. Put you right... wherever that flickers at me. Well, it's certainly being picky with placement, isn't it? Okay, we'll just go about like this then, I guess. That, and then let's get that connection right there. And then what I want to do is we'll get we don't really need a very expensive one. Maybe we'll do like... Nah, I think this one will be fine. 0.5 is probably fine. We'll take off of this side right there, and we're going to bring it underground and connect it to that. There we go. And we'll get that added to anyone's priority list. We'll bring Charlabinsk into that. Helicopters, yes. Let's bring Cernikova and get Cernikova involved in that. Sure. I mean, the road office really doesn't need to have it. We're just going to get these involved in it. That's fine. And then also, yeah, the helicopters are already in it too. Cool. Okay, so we're close. I mean, obviously, this is still not flowing very smoothly, but we're here in December 5th. So we've been harvesting for quite a while. We've been taking it over there for quite a while. The train has been operating for quite a while, and we still have over 5,000 tons in here. So I think dividing these guys up is definitely helping, and it will certainly help more once we get the other station in place over here too. All right, system's done. Let's stress test it, right? So we got plenty of waste in here, and it's being pushed through the system. We got nearly max workers in here processing all the waste, sending it here to a full waste bin here. Then these guys are max processing, sending it to a full waste bin here, or at least there's a bunch in here. And then it goes into here, which we have almost full workers. On and off, we have full workers through here as we process it. But as you can see, every once in a while, it doesn't have a place it can put the mixed waste. That's because this is full. So I've let time run a little bit, as you can see, and we currently have 26 cabins on the track here. That's out of a maximum of 64. So we're only at about a third of our capacity at the moment. And with the third of our capacity, we can see kind of how much are we able to keep up at this. So it's happening, but not great yet, right? We have a lot of vehicles that are bringing more cabins into here. I've added a few more trucks to come in and do this, so we're able to get more cabins onto the track. And the cabins will travel, it looks like 10 meters per second, and our cable length is under 4,000 meters. But what I'd like to see here, right, cabins in the track is 8, right? And then they are going to load until they are full and then leave, right? That's the hope anyway. So as we add more of them, they're always trying to equally space themselves out, right? So as we add more of these, we should see our loading times increase and get better too. So now we're at 34, and we're going to keep an eye on this. But if this never fills up, then that means we're producing at maximum. And now we're even slightly dipping into that one. That was exciting to see, right? So the percentage filled, we want this to always stay under 100% as much as we can, right? And we're at maximum production now. So we're really hitting this transfer bin as hard as possible right now. And the statement will be, if this is running at full blast and this is not filling up, then this is good for a longer term than I thought it would be, right? 64 trains or 64 cars does seem pretty good. If I head all the way over here to see how that's working out, you can see that the mixed waste is being pushed into here, and it's all biological, all burnable stuff, right? coming off of the track, which is has been told to simply unload. So there it is, just unloading. And we could maybe say wait till unloaded, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. I don't think it is anyway, because this should be able to burn it fast enough. If this starts to accumulate faster, you can see all the waste is kind of not... I mean, granted, we're not going to have a whole lot of waste being pushed in here. Eventually, it'll only be one bin with everybody unloading over there. But this thing, you know, it works as fast as it can. And I can probably add maybe a little bit more workers here. Let's go with 10 in here. But with the cableway system in place and always having mixed waste brought in here, plus this part working, we should pretty much see, and it looks like construction waste is going to be a problem now. Figures. I could probably get another, like an aggregate storage for that put in over here. I had the dedicated truck, but it looks like the truck broke down or something. I might have gotten rid of it already. I'll have to replace it. I'll have to figure out where the hell it went. It's supposed to be over here. And it might have went to a depot or something to get repaired. I don't remember what it did, but we got a lot of vehicles over here that need repaired. The helicopter's at 7%, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and tell that to go to work immediately at the helicopter construction office right over here because we can handle it. Okay. So yeah, look at this. It's actually emptying it out. We're actually keeping up, and that's with 36 cabins on the track out of a maximum of 64. So we can definitely handle this. This looks like it's going to be a good solution, which means we now just need trains to bring mixed waste into here. We don't need them to pick up the ash. Okay. So again, I can reiterate here that I could have had a shorter station because I was planning to use factory connections for this and it just didn't work out that way. So as long as this is pumping at maximum, I need more workers in here, but as long as this is pumping out at maximum and these aren't getting completely full, right? I need to see this start to get down. And I'm actually not sure whether these ratios are different. So this should be able to handle 30 tons of mixed waste at maximum production per day. This one can only handle 20 tons. And then this one here handles 50 tons. So seems to me there's a bit of a disconnect there. Which, yeah, I mean, how to fix that? I don't know. I don't think there is a way other than just having some of these guys take their mixed waste directly to the general separator. That would be one way to do it. The only issue with that is if that mixed waste has something like, say, metal in it, where's it going to go? We're going to need a truck to take it here. That's going to make things more complicated, right? Because the metal was supposed to have already been removed by this scrap separator. So, I don't know. I think it'll be okay. It really just depends on whether this is going to be emptied out and whether this is getting emptied out, which this is definitely getting emptied out. So we're good to go here for sure. We can definitely handle mixed waste out of the general separator at maximum. You know, we're punching it right in there. And it's like staying the same. We're slightly behind it. Yeah, it's like we're slightly behind it when it's at maximum, right? But we still have more cars to bring in. We're at 44, so I like it. Final thing to do then. I've added all those box cars, or I've added more waste cars to the train. And so this train now, what its job is, assuming the track is done, and it may not be, but assuming the track is done, its job is to come all the way over here. This train is exactly 155 meters in length, and it is supposed to go to here. You're going to load the mixed waste, and you are going to come on over here, and you are going to unload the mixed waste. Right there, right? And you can go ahead and wait till unloaded if you want to. That's fine. That is your new route, assuming you can get there, which you can't get there yet. So in order to get you there, I'm going to have to make sure that the track builders are done with their job and getting out of the way, which they're not yet. In fact, this guy's just lost and dazed and confused here, so let's just kind of do that. So as soon as this track is done, or the crossing, either one, I mean, I don't really care. Do the crossing instead, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's a high priority. You're supposed to be doing this instead. But assuming we can get all those done, then, yeah, we can start unloading the waste from here, which is going to enable us to make this place more healthy, too, because I got a feeling the waste and stuff is going to start piling up in here, right? We don't have a whole lot of people working over here right now, and garbage is definitely piling up, so we got a lot of work to do there. But we are... yeah, almost ready to make our own coal over on this side, too. Should be good to go. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Obviously, there's a lot of unfinished business going around here, right? There's a lot of things that are not quite done yet. This is completed. This is removed, so I can now start working on the road, at least. That's a good thing. And so the next video, we're gonna place the new road depot here, and we're going to check back in, kind of monitor waste a little bit, make sure that it's communicating, or that it's commuting. The waste is commuting, right, between these two locations, and that we're able to process the waste from over there and process it over here. That was the goal, right? So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day today. The Cableways, it freaking works, man. It's just good. It's just good. All right, take it easy. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.